and welcome to Michaela's Wild Challenge.
If it flies, crawls, swims or runs and poses a tough enough challenge, we're ready to face it.
Let's see what's coming up this time. Oh, wow, that's strong. Super strong.
Well, my first challenge today is to try and talk, because as you can hear, I've lost my voice. So you introduce me, I'll do the actions.
Well, Michaela's challenge today is to get to grips with an enormous set of gnashers.
This is one challenge with a serious amount of bite.
I'm on one of Australia's beautiful East Coast beaches, and there's nothing I'd rather do right now than take a swim in that fantastic ocean. But it's time for my next challenge. Put Jumping Flash Jack back into the wild. That sounds a bit rock and roll. Well, Australia is famous for its jumping animals, but if this one is flash fast and jumps, I don't know how I'm going to catch it to put it back into the wild. It's time I got rolling.
Being in Australia, I figured that my Jumping Flash Jack might have something to do with kangaroos or wallabies, so I headed inland to see if I could find someone to help me with my challenge.
I'm here at Project Kyle with Janelle from the Queensland Parks and Wildlife Service and little Maggie here. Now, my challenge is to put Jumping Flash Jack back into the wild. I'm guessing Maggie's got something to do with it.
That's right. Maggie's a flashjack or bridled nail-tail wallaby, and the bridled nail-tail wallaby was thought to be extinct until 1973 when a fencing contractor rediscovered them.
So I've got the right animal, and why would I be putting it back?
Well, we've been breeding them up in captivity so that if there is a wildfire, a drought or some other catastrophe happens in their natural population, that we'll have a few other populations and the species will be able to survive into the future.
Well, she's looking a little bit restless now. Do you think it's lunchtime?
Yes, yeah, talking of survival and the wallaby, let's give it its feed.
Okay, let's go. This is my first wallaby feed. Here we go. There we go, Maggie. Now, how many other bridled nail-tail wallabies are here?
There's probably about 60 bridled nail-tail wallabies here, and we plan to eventually release all of these wallabies back into the wild.
Maggie was, of course, too young to be released, so we let her get on with her daily exercise. Meanwhile, it was time for me to go and prepare some lunch for some of the other slightly bigger residents. And with over 60 wallabies to feed, this was going to require some serious chopping. With the food prepared, we headed into one of the enclosures, and it wasn't long before the wallabies were getting stuck in. Even one of the babies looked interested in the food. The wallabies we had been feeding were not due for release for another few months. So Janelle and I headed into another enclosure where there was a wallaby who was ready to go into the wild. All we had to do was catch him.
It's just up through there.
Keep coming, Ellie.
Oh, got him. Wow, that was fantastic. Ooh. Oh.
Well, I caught it and I let it go. So let's try that again. Come down that way.
Yes, here he comes. Whoa. He is super fast. That is definitely why he's called Flashjack. Whoa. Here he comes. Whoa.
As the daylight faded, so did our chances of catching this elusive wallaby. It was time to revert to Plan B. Janelle suggested we try out one of her wallaby traps. If this didn't work, nothing would.
Okay, Ellie, now that you've set the trap, I'll just demonstrate how we actually catch the wallaby in the trap. This sliding door would normally be closed, and the wallaby will actually come in the trap there, look for the yummy food down the back here, and clumsily step on the treadle at the back of the trap. Of course, there's nice yummy food down the back for the animal, so it'll stay down there for quite some time and be quite content.
So all we need to do now is wait for morning. That's a good sign saying the door is closed, so we could have a wallaby.
I hope we do.
Let's have a look. Yes, we do. There he is. Hello. And what do we do with him now?
Well, now, Ellie, you're going to take the wallaby out of the trap, but you have to be really careful.
Why?
Well, you have to be careful not to hurt him.
So don't let go.
Yes.
Hold him out.
Yeah, and grab him by the base of the tail, which won't hurt the animal.
Okay. Hello there. Oh! Wow, that's strong. Super strong. That's okay. There we go, new home. Ooh. He was really strong. I did it.
Before we could release our Flash Jack, Janelle needed to give him a thorough health check. He also needed a very fetching ear tag so that he could be monitored after he had been released. Then it was time to hit the road. Thankfully, the release site was not too far away, and the wallaby seemed perfectly happy in the back of Janelle's truck.
Wow. So Janelle, is this his new home?
That's right, Ellie. We leave the wallaby here for 10 days, so it gets used to its new home. And then after 10 days, we release it from this pen gradually.
So just this pen all the way around here for 10 whole days, just to get used to its new environment.
That's right.
So what do we do now?
So now we can release the wallaby from the pet carrier.
Well, here goes. This is your first taste of freedom, although not quite, not for 10 more days. Here you go.
After a tentative start, the wallaby was soon hopping around in his new enclosure.
Well, Janelle, he seems very happy with his new home.
He certainly is, Ellie.
So we've got 10 days to wait, and then we're going to come back and set him free.
That's right. Let's go.
Hi, Janelle. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. But how's he been for the past 10 days?
Oh, well, he's been settling in nicely. He's been eating all the food and water, and he's been putting on weight, and I think he's ready for release into the wild.
Fantastic.
I put down some tasty food to tempt the wallaby out. All we could do now was sit and wait. At first, the wallaby seemed more interested in the grass inside the enclosure, but slowly his curiosity got the better of him, and he made his first tentative hops towards freedom.
Wow, here he comes now. He's having a real sniff around.
Then in a flash, he was off.
And off he goes.
Fabulous, wasn't it?
That was fantastic.
It's definitely one of the most rewarding parts of the job.
I've successfully put Jumping Flash Jack back into the wild. That is definitely challenge complete. Thank you very much, Janelle.
Thank you, Ellie.